spell it MEXT. Rather confusing, but MEXT is the scholarship program provided by our Ministry of Education and so on. Your selection, Mr. As a MEXT scholarship student, potential to make significant contributions to your field of study as well as the development of Samoa. We have no doubt that your time in Japan will be a transformative experience that will shape your academic and personal growth in ways you cannot yet imagine. As you embark on this journey, we would like to express our pride in the fact that you will be representing not only yourself, but also your family and this country. We are confident that you will be a great ambassador of Samoa and make the most of this opportunity to learn about Japan's culture, language, and history. Japan is a beautiful country with a rich culture, and we hope that you will take time to explore and appreciate its many wonders. As you begin this exciting new chapter in your life, we would like to wish you the very best with your studies and encourage you to make the most of this incredible opportunity. We look forward to hearing about your experience and achievement as MEXT scholar. Well, I understand that you are going to study energy systems, focusing specifically on providing grid inertia support for greater utilization of inverter-based renewable energy resources.
Yes.
I wonder how many of you can understand what that means. but absolutely, definitely, it will contribute. If he finishes this study, it will contribute to the better management of energies on this island, and that will work greatly towards the countermeasures against climate change. This is a very important study. And I understand that you are studying in Kyoto University.
Yes, that's right.
Kyoto University is one of the best universities in Japan. It is a very prestigious university, and you know Kyoto, and it is located in Kyoto. Kyoto is an old capital of Japan, very historic city. Kyoto was capital of Japan from 796 to 1868. So more than 1,000 years, Kyoto was the capital of Japan. And after that, before Tokyo was officially announced as the capital of Japan. So Kyoto is a very historic city, and you will absolutely enjoy the beauty of Kyoto. There will be a lot of historic buildings and sites and hills and rivers and everything. Fortunately, Kyoto was not bombarded by the Allied forces during World War II. So, well, Tokyo was completely destroyed at the World War II by the bombing of the Allied forces, but Kyoto was spared from the bombing. So you can see a lot of old streets there. I hope you pick up some of the Kyoto language. Kyoto language is a bit different from the standard Japanese, that is Tokyo-based language, and it is a bit, it's a very elegant language. Yeah, Kyoto people think that it is an elegant language. Well, I'm from the southern part of Japan, so from Kyoto people, I'm kind of a barbarian. I speak a completely different language from Kyoto or Tokyo, but Kyoto is a very nice city. And one point of advice. So you are living, where are you living?
Easter Monday, next
Easter Monday, okay. So maybe it will be too late for the cherry blossoms this year. This year, maybe cherry blossom. I think it is in full bloom in a few days. Tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. But you will definitely enjoy the cherry blossoms next spring. And another thing is, the summer in Kyoto is very hot, very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Kyoto is not noted for that because Kyoto is located in the basin. That means far from the sea, so you don't have sea breeze. So during July and August, it is very, very hot. And in winter, it's rather cold. In winter, rather cold, but I'm sure you will enjoy snow there. But in summer, although it is very hot in Kyoto, there is a very famous festival in Kyoto. It is Aoi Matsuri, right? Gion Matsuri. Gion Matsuri or Aoi Matsuri. It is a very, very famous festival in Japan, and many domestic and international tourists come to Kyoto to enjoy the festival. So I'm sure you will enjoy that during the summertime. I really hope you wish you good travel, yeah, and a good study. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now we would like to ask Mr. Manuya, who is this year's one and only scholarship awardee from Samoa, for his summer works from modern world.
Thank you, Cody. First and foremost, I would like to thank His Excellency Ambassador Center and the government of Japan. I stand before you with a heart filled with gratitude and humility for the opportunity given to me today. Your belief in my potential and your generous support means so much to me. I see this scholarship as a symbol of trust and encouragement that inspires me to make a meaningful contribution to the ongoing relationship between Samoa and Japan. I'm Maro Lovely Soifua, my Langi Mama. My name is Leo Tutu Manuel Ameta Brown, and I come from the villages of Vaimoso and Mota. I stand before you today as a product of the environment I was raised in, to strive for excellence by relying on a strong work ethic and the support of the community around me. I'm an engineer by profession, having worked across multiple engineering specializations. I've worked in civil construction and project management at a local firm called Orson Consultants. And I've also just recently finished a stint at EPC, where I worked as a mechanical engineer at their main thermal power generation plant based out in Fianga. It was while working here at EPC that I finalized a proposal for a master's thesis study in Japan. Now, Samoa has a goal towards reaching 70% renewable end use by 2031. And I'm looking to contribute to this by researching, as Ambassador Sensei was explaining, how to maintain a more stable power grid while increasing the amount of power produced from renewable energy resources like solar or wind. Now my research will look into using combinations of different energy storages to balance, quite frankly, the temperamental nature of solar and wind. Solar and wind is really dependent on weather patterns, and more often than not, it cannot be reliably stored, resulting in a power surplus on our grid, which in the long run would damage our assets here at EPC, and also may pose a danger to the general public. Now, doing this research, I'm looking at giving measurable economic and technical outcomes that will allow for more renewable energy assets to be used compared to diesel fuel sources. And now I know a lot of the questions may be, what does energy storage look like? And it can look like the more conventional storage we may be familiar with, which is batteries, some of which we have here in Samoa already, our power plant at Fianga, or out next to the solar plants that we see at Faleolo. But also it may be looking at more novel forms of energy storage, such as mechanical forms, which I'm more familiar with, like flywheels. Now, when looking for somewhere to pursue a higher academic career, I saw Japan as the best place for me to study for multiple reasons. First, my research complements many policies in both Samoa and Japan for long-term renewable energy implementation. Also, studying in Japan would see my research being covered by some of the leading academics in the world, as His Excellency was saying, especially at Kyoto University, which is where I will be studying. Aside from that, I did choose to apply to try and study in Japan because, quite frankly, it's cool. And what makes it so cool is its rich and vibrant cultural heritage. It's in this culture that I see a lot of similarities between Japan and Samoa, especially in its culture based around family and tradition. In all of this, what really impresses me is that Japan has managed to stay true to its distinct culture while making great advancements both economically and technologically. And really, it's like they've mastered the art of progress while not losing sight of their roots. And it's this unique experience that I hope to go and learn from, take away with me and bring back with me, and contribute more to my community. And that's part of the reason why I was so excited to hear that I was awarded this scholarship. Truth be told, in all those years, I have learned that in the waiting, there is patience, there is wisdom, there is a time to be still and to reset. I know that I needed those past unsuccessful attempts to get me to improve myself, improve my thesis proposal, but more importantly, my why for why I want to study. And I can confidently say that I'm now in the right season to go on to this next scholarship. I've recognized that our lives do come in season. And I would also like to take this final opportunity, this Holy Week, Easter week, to thank God for his continued strength and his intervention in my life. He has graced me with people and opportunities that I know do not come from any worldly hand. And it's all of those together that's brought me to this point. In the words of Philippians 4 verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. A real testament to the limitless potential and ability one can have when relying on God. And going forward into this new journey, into this new season, I trust that he is my protector and he is my strength. Thank you.
I would like to take a moment for a photo shoot. So please, Mr. Ambassador and Mr. Manuel, stand up and shake hands in front of the flags.
Thank you very much.
Okay, see the camera.
Also know which one to look at. This
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe? Okay, so one more advice. If you go to Kyoto and if you want to eat a very cheap and delicious food, you go to Osho. There's a restaurant chain called Osho, and basically it's a kind of Chinese restaurant, but they offer very nice Chinese dumplings and fried rice and everything. It's very cheap, right? Yeah, Osho.
I'll definitely add it to my itinerary.
Yeah, and you can find Osho restaurant throughout Japan. And where I live in Tokyo, but I visit restaurant Osho almost every week to eat dumplings there. But Osho is originally from Kyoto, so they have a lot of restaurants there. And another thing is, maybe you don't know, things are very cheap in Japan. For example, if you go to McDonald's for hamburger, the cheapest hamburger you can get in McDonald's is 2 tara. You pay 2 tara, that is 100 yen. You pay 100 yen and you get one hamburger. It's very cheap. And also, if you want to eat something very delicious and cheap, you take a train, 30 minutes, and you get to Osaka City. And Osaka is very famous for cheap and nice food. So you just go, take a train, maybe 500 yen from Kyoto to Osaka. That's about 10 tara one way. And you go to Osaka and enjoy a lot of food there and come back. Yeah.
You've given me a lot of things to consider on my list.
Yeah. Yes. So I really hope you enjoy Kyoto and Japan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And pick up some Japanese.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's not so difficult, especially for Samoan people. Our pronunciation system is very similar.
I hope so.
Yeah. And another thing is, atamai. Atamai means clever in Samoan, right? In Japanese, clever we say atamai. Almost the same. Okay. So you get atamai.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So now we'd like to take a moment, about 15 minutes, 10 minutes for Q&A session. So you can start, anyone can question to Mr. Manuya.
Yes. Yeah, so this is the third time, and in the past I also applied for this scholarship. But as I was saying in my speech as well, I think where I am right now is the best time and best season for myself to be going ahead with the scholarship. I feel like I'm more mature, not just personally, but especially professionally. And it's helped me to really improve my thesis, to sort of have me going away to be studying something that is actually beneficial to Samoa in the long run. Previous theses that I had proposed, I had proposed without a real understanding of what's needed on the ground here in Samoa, especially when EPC or to do with our energy assets. And that time that I spent at EPC was really helpful for me to be able to improve my thesis to get it to the point where it's actually something that will be useful for Samoa. So I'm not going just for a trip, but I'm actually going to learn something a lot more that I can bring back and help improve not just Samoa, but hopefully also our Pacific neighbors as well.
You also mentioned in your speech about Samoa's goal in 2031. If you want to be part of it, can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so ongoing missions from the government of Samoa was really trying to aim for improving our renewable energy penetration here in Samoa. I think we may all be familiar with one of the pre-existing ones, which was, I believe, 100% renewable by 2025. And that's sort of been iteratively updated to now reflect something that would be achievable by 2031, which is 70% renewable energy. But that goal in itself is sort of looking at a cross-sector approach to improving Samoa's renewable landscape. It's not just looking at how we improve our energy use ourselves as consumers with how we use power. It's also looking at how we produce power from the power producers such as EPC. It's also looking at other sectors such as finance or transport in ways that we can improve investment into more assets that help us achieve that goal. Now, my study itself would be a very small component of that, of the bigger picture that I believe the Samoan government has in mind. And that would be specifically focusing on power grid and work that is done to sort of produce power.
Do you think Samoa will achieve that goal by 2031?
Wow, that's a huge question for someone as myself. And I think that me now at my inexperience, I feel that going out and actually doing a master's thesis would give me a lot more on the ground knowledge to be able to answer that more appropriately. What I do know is that there are plans, great plans seemingly in place to sort of improve our renewable energy infrastructure. I've seen that a lot while working at EPC, seeing how hard that they are working there to sort of improve solar, wind, and hydro power penetration. And all of that is really in an aim to try and work towards that goal. And it's not just at EPC, it's also across all the different sectors of government, I believe.
My last question, let me see if I remember my last question. Going back to my first question about you applying 3 times. What's your message closer from a 5-year applying particularly?
I think more than anything is persistence towards a goal. Resilience. If there is something that you have in mind, don't be afraid to go for it, and don't let anything that may bring you down. Really, more than anything, it's also about finding the right reason to do things. And I think I can say that, in my first times applying for this scholarship, they may not have been with the right intent or the right heart. And that's why I was really trying to say that now I feel that I'm mature enough to actually want to be going to doing this scholarship for the right reasons, which is much more beyond myself, but more so equipping Samoan knowledge and understanding in international renewable energy to try and bring that back and see how it can help improve ourselves here.
To follow up with Jack's question, when was the first time that you applied, and do you mean that you never lost hope? I mean, you never lose hope about applying again and applying again?
I think the first time I applied was 2021. I applied again in 2022. Then I applied again in 2023, and that's what sort of brought me here today.
With all the answer that you get to Jack about solar improving some, do you mean that there's a need to improve, energy system in Samoa?
I think in any sort of country, the need is to improve the renewable energy system, because as we can see that with the non-renewable energy sources that many countries are pulling on with diesel and fuel, that's not sustainable in the long run, and it's really about finding alternative sources of energy to sort of make up for that, cleaner sources of energy that's more beneficial to our environment and ourselves as a people.
When are you leaving, and how many years are you leaving for your studies, and what would be the most challenging stuff for you, like leaving your family behind?
Yeah. So I leave on Easter Monday, which is in a week or so at the time of this interview. And I think to answer your question about one of the most challenging things, you put it quite right there. We'll be leaving the community that I've set up for myself here, my family, my friends. I'll be going for 2 years minimum, and that in itself means I'll miss out on a lot of milestones for the most important people in my life. Happy events such as weddings, birthdays or so, sad events, but I think knowing that there is the opportunity to stay in touch and communicate, and knowing my reason for going, at this time I'm just trying to find that time to set aside for the people most important in my life, to say my see you later, not goodbyes, not a farewell, but more see you later before heading off, and try my best in Japan.
Please, Manuel, can you explain how serving 4 to 5 years in the EPC, coming from a full-time job, 9 to 5, and adjusting back to student life, can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, working in civil construction, and then I worked 1 year at EPC as a mechanical engineer, and I think one thing that you sort of get into the routine of is, like you say, the 9 to 5, that when work is done, you can go home, enjoy time with family, enjoy time with friends, take a break off. But I guess my challenge now is just trying to readjust to a student life, because my sole focus will be on my studies, and that's not something that can typically fit within a 9 to 5. It's also about meeting a whole lot of different deadlines or assessment times from many different professors or courses, and to find time to take a break off, and as His Excellency was saying, trying to find that time to actually enjoy being in Japan.
Yeah, working on your thesis, would it require you to learn the Japanese language as well?
So thankfully, my courses are all taught in English, but one component that this next scholarship does offer is learning more about the Japanese language and culture. So that will be a 6-month course, intensive course in the language. Now it was optional, but obviously I don't know a lick of Japanese, and I think to better survive in Japan, but also to really understand and appreciate the culture, I was more than willing to take that opportunity on, because I'm learning a new language, I'm learning more about a unique people who we have such close relationships here in Samoa, and it means that I can just take that opportunity to find more colleagues and more friends, not just in Japan, but hopefully also internationally.
Thanks for the best.
Thank you for clarifying that. Sorry, if it's possible, if I could respectfully ask, because some of us had to do meetings in Samoa, if you could translate. your contribution to achieving some carbon goals towards renewable energy, and the attempts that you have made in order to achieve this, to get this scholarship, please?
Well, I think just to stay on the safe side, I prefer to keep my answer in English just in case some things may be lost in my own translations of things.
Is this the first time you're leaving home to study abroad?
So I did study for 4 years in New Zealand, doing an undergraduate degree, and I returned back from my studies there to work here in Samoa, and now I'm looking at, again, going up for postgraduate degrees.
Any chance can we ask some questions to both of you? Because we want to know how many applicants
And how much is it, please?
and how much is it
How much is it?
for the scholarship alone? The cost.
The cost itself. It's fully funded. It's fully funded. The
It's
tuition
fully funded.
and with the allowance,